This one quality has changed everything for me. If you have pulled out a lot of the strategies, techniques, plans, and worked on all other things but are still not able to figure out that why this one thing is not working for me, then it's the authenticity that is lacking. Not only in the business or the work that you're doing or the job that you're doing, but also in the relationship, in the friendship, in the connections that you build around the people. That is the thing. Now you might be thinking that now what is that authenticity, and how can I bring that authenticity in my life, and what does it means for me actually. And in this video I'm going to share with you the 4 things about the authenticity, and how can you build that authenticity in your life, how can you get that authenticity and apply that in your life. Number 1, closing the gap between the belief and actions. What we believe is always hardwired in our subconscious mind and is always reflected in our actions. So if I would just say that I'm believing that I'm consistent, but if I'm not showing that one thing in my action, then I'm absolutely failing that one thing, and I am having a gap in that one thing. That's how we need to figure out that what gap is actually there. Similarly, if I'm just saying that, okay, if I'm just observing myself that I cannot keep up with my words, that what I say is not what exactly I do, and most of the times I'm just failing at my own words, and that's where the thing needs to be fixed. That belief and the action needs to be fixed. Closing the gap between those is going to solve the problem. So for me, I'm still working on it, but yeah, I can just see that how closely these are intertwined in the character. And if I am not doing what I believe in, nobody else is going to. So for example, if I'm sitting with a person next to me, and if I would just say that you can trust me and you can share with me whatever the things that you have in your mind, the person will first look at me like, and then just observing of the actions. If I'm just way too much talkative, and if I'm just sharing a lot much more stuffs by my side and sharing a lot much more small things, and a lot of the things I'm talking very much, and that means that I'm not trustworthy, and if that person is like not trustworthy, and you can just like, even if you just said that you can trust me, those words completely failed at that point of the time. That they cannot trust you because you have already broken that words with your actions, and the person is not going to share with you whatever the thing that they were holding on. And when you close the gap between what you believe, what you say, and what you do, that's where the trust begins, and so the authenticity. The same thing works in the business too. So if I would just say to a person that I'm going to deliver these things, and if I'm not showing that one thing in my actions, then it's failed. It's already failed. And that's why you need to figure out that where are that gaps, and like in every single thing, whatever the thing that is not working. So for example, even in your relationships, what is the thing that you just believe, or what is this thing that you just say but you do not do? There is a gap between that, and that is ruining that relationship, that is ruining your friendship, in your colleagues, the connections that you build around all with your people. That is the thing that is ruining it up. So instead of asking yourself that what are the gaps that I need to fix, a much better question that I would ask myself is that how can I build up a character who is taking up the action in accordance to what I believe and promise to fulfill. So that is the thing. Number 2 is that how do I make them feel? Feelings are at the end, anyone is going to remember whom you are being with or whom you are staying with. So if I'm just saying that I'm sitting with a person, how do I judge them basically, or how do I make the connections with them, how do I make the friendships? So whenever you just make up a friendship, what do you basically remember? What do you basically try to find out? A major thing that we all try to figure out is that how do they make me feel? That is the thing that we try to get from that connection. If that is not feeling good or that is not feeling right, we just stay away from them. So if I would just say that you need to build up a simple friendship, and if you're sitting along with this person and you will just see that, okay, what I feel like, what do I feel like with this person, and you will most probably see that, okay, they are authentic. When you will just see that just as weird as you are, they are the same way, and they will have the some points that are connecting with you, and you will just feel like, wow, this is resonating, this is connecting, this is relevant, this is true. And that is the thing that they are making you feel, and that is the how we are building up the connection. So how do you make them feel? What it feels like is really important. If you have left this point, then everything else is going to dissolve, because nothing is going to matter at the end. So if you just want to get that authenticity in any kind of the relationships, in your work life, in your personal life, you just need to ask that, how do I make them feel? If you are not able to make them feel much more natural, then that is not going to work, because that feeling comes from much more natural conversations, being natural and true. So I would just say that, okay, if someone is thinking that now, how could I bring that feeling? How can I make them feel better? So you just don't need to add extra kindness or extra generosity, and you don't need to add extra. You just need to make them feel more of themselves in their own space. That means that if you allow them to feel more of themselves in their space, that is the thing that they want. That is going to work. That is the thing how they are feeling. Every person is always concerned with themselves much more inside than the other person is trying to make them feel. So the third thing is authenticity gets stronger by the consistency and habit. When you keep following your habits and keep showing up every single day, your consistency does not needs to be proved. It just gets so much in your body language, and it just gets so much embedded in every single thing of you. So in your thoughts, in your work process, in your lifestyle, in your behavior, in your character, and everything that is there, it is going to be reflected in all of those things. So at that point in time, it does not need to be proved. So for example, if I would just say that I'm going to be loyal in your friendship for 364 days, but in the one day I'm not going to be, that means that my consistency is of being loyal is inauthentic. That means that I'm faking it. This is pretending, and it just completely destroys the whole proof that you have of that consistency. It is just an example. So yeah, if you are breaking that consistency and not bringing it to the level where it does not needs to be proved, it's going to be not that much reliable. It's going to be not that much relevant to other person, because they have not seen something that this is really important. When most of the times in the business purpose, and in the times when you're selling something, when you're marketing something, when you're like doing some kind of the work, job, or any kind of the thing, at that point in time, if you just say that I'm going to do this thing, and you are inconsistent in it, you are not having that habit, that is not proving you, that does makes a little bit of the unreliability. The fourth point is that authenticity comes from experience. Now this is the thing that I need to give you 4 points that will help you get that what do I mean by the experience that is there. So how do you get the authenticity by the experience? Is for a beginner, for any kind of the beginner, or when you are in the learning process, anytime, that is the thing that when it starts. So in the starting, you do not have any kind of the authenticity in any field, whatever the field it is. You just start learning it, you are a beginner in it, and when you start learning it, you are first in the copying stage. That means that you're copying it, you are pasting it, you are just like copy paste, do it, learn it, do it, learn it, like that. And learning it, doing it, this kind of the repetition is going on, and you just are doing the only exact thing that are being taught to you or that you have learned. That's the thing that is going on in a repetitive process. The second step that comes after this is that you now, after a certain repetition, you now try to experiment with it. You now try to add a little bit extra pinch of salt in it and add an ingredient in it, so that it just tastes. How does it taste, and then does it gives it much more better, or does it makes it worse? Like, you are just experimenting, so you just don't alter the whole content or alter the whole thing. You just alter a little small part of it, and you're just experimenting with it, and you're just adding something to it or removing something. The third step is that repeating the process, repeating all of those things, all of those steps, until you know why it is there, why this thing is there, why it is working like this, why everything is happening like this. And at that point of the time, after that, fourth step comes is that the experiment is experience. With all of those repetitions, now you have your own personal learning, personal experimentations, and your perspective is also there, and you have your own things. And so now when you share it, now you're sharing it with your personal experience. That is making up that authenticity. So that is how the authenticity comes from the experience. So it does takes up the time. It is not a quick 4-step process. It does takes up the time, but it is going to build up that authenticity. So I hope that this video was helpful, and if you want to watch the similar kind of the videos, then please subscribe to the channel and watch my next video.